If you don't have this book in your library, okay, a part of your library, I highly encourage you to get this book. I want to tell you guys a story, okay? And I like telling stories because it depicts a picture and you could get a visual of what I'm saying. And I remember this is how, and for some reason, this thought came to my mind a few minutes ago. As I was laying in the bed a few minutes ago, I started getting all these downloads, right? I tell you guys each and every morning, well, each and every day, I write my goals out 15 to whatever amount of videos for me to do. And the ideas just start flowing. Okay. I start getting all these downloads from Source. So I was in 2017, okay. I had my youngest daughter, Amani, okay. And my youngest daughter name means faith. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, her father is the one who picked out the name. And when he was like, oh, let's name her Amani because um, that name means faith. And I was wondering, like, why you want us to name the baby Amani, right? Because in my head, I'm thinking, like, you probably was messing with somebody, your name was Amani, whatever. So he was like, no, it means faith, right? So I had 4 children, okay? Now, my third child, before I had him, I had a miscarriage, okay, from somebody else. Um, but my third child, okay, my 2 youngest children, they have the same father. So when I was pregnant and had my third child, I went through, some experience, a little discomfort, okay. And I remember, I was a little afraid when I was to give birth with my youngest child, my fourth child. And I remember, and this was before I had my spiritual awakening. And the reason why I showed you guys this book in the beginning, because everything is really about thoughts and what you tell yourself and mindset. Okay? So we gets to the hospital, okay. They had to induce my labor, okay. And as in a hospital, is night, okay, and I'm laying in a bed, got the hospital gear on, and the doctor, who was such a phenomenal doctor, Dr. Muhammad. And I remember how, like, when I would go to the doctor office, they pretty much would always compliment me, like, on the way I would dress and, just the way I would carry myself, okay? Being pregnant and all. And I remember the night of me going into labor, I just kept on calling out to the ancestors. Like I just kept calling out to the ancestors, and it was so, like, I seen this visual. I had this visual of me being like in this field, um, like with wheatgrass or something, and just holding on to one of my ancestors. Don't know exactly which ancestor it was because I couldn't really see like the 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 exact face. Like, yeah, I seen the a face, but it wasn't recognized like a person that I recognized. And I remember in this field holding on to the hand And I was going like in and out of the visual, right? Like here I am laying on a bed and I'm going in and out of this visual. And Dr. Muhammad had came in the room, to check on me. And she said to me, she said, Dina, are you feeling those contractions she was talking about? And I said, And she was like, you having a lot of contractions is showing up on the screen. She was like, you sure you don't feel nothing? And I was like, which I didn't. Which I didn't. Because the only thing I remember is asking the ancestors to walk me through this, to accompany me through this pregnancy. And so the next day, right, I believe I got to the hospital probably around 6 or 7 o'clock, the prior day, right, in the evening. And so now it's the next day. And yeah, I did the epidural. Okay, because I was a little afraid because I was like, maybe, that's why you want to be mindful of the thoughts that you constantly have. Okay, and I tell you guys all the time, we are not our thoughts, but when you keep on thinking the same thing over and over and over again, and you get emotionally involved, you send that energy out. The primary law, it's a law of attraction, is law of vibration. Your vibe. Okay, what are you vibing to? Okay, what are your frequency? What frequency are you on? Okay, and that's important. And so now, I'm ready to give birth, right? And it was such like a spiritual moment, like I pushed one time. And it was so funny because the doctor said, like, you are so strong. Like, we could have figured that. I wanted to tell this story. One, because I thought about it when I was, on the bed. And then two, I want to remind you that you have your ancestors with you, even though if they may have transitioned on, they are still with you. You have your spirit guides with you. You have your higher self with you. So you're not alone. Okay? You have to be mindful of what you constantly think about, what you constantly telling yourself. And whenever I share a video, it is always for the betterment. It is always to get you to start thinking of yourself in a higher light, as opposed of the way you have been viewing yourself and seeing yourself, and it's not even true. The way you see yourself is not even true. It is someone else's perception of you that you constantly allow to run your life. That's not how Source see you. Source doesn't see you as a loser, a failure, a good for nothing, a person that always gets it wrong. Source doesn't see you like that. That's how other people may have seen you. But Source doesn't see you like that. You are love. Before any other program occurred, you are love. And what I believe is, like, we go through things. We are born into certain families. I don't believe things just happen. I believe we choose the family to go into and to change the dynamic, so to speak, of that family. And to get back to our true self, our true nature, which is love.